What's going on, folks? It's your boy, D. Alonzo Lang, back at you again with another video. Come check it out, man. Black History Month has been saved by a white man during one of the most important times in the month of February. NBA All-Star Weekend. Yes, that's right, folks. The dunk contest has came and gone, and you know, it's really unfortunate. It's no longer the glorious, exciting contest that it used to be. Niggas just not as creative as they used to be. The stars don't want to compete no more, you know. But I gotta say, man, this year's dunk contest, there was a little bit of excitement. It was mid. I'm not gonna lie, it was mid, but there was some excitement. There was some excitement this year, thanks to a young man named McClung. Saved the dunk contest, bringing some life and creativity back. Young man on a two-way contract. But you know, shout out to McClung for being a highlight, because you know we got some highlights from the night, we got some lowlights for the night. The biggest lowlight being one of the judges for the night. They brought Karl Malone out of retirement to be a judge. If you don't know why Karl Malone is a lowlight, we're gonna get into that. But first, let's give McClung his flowers, man. I gotta say, man, like, it's getting really frustrating seeing the same dunks for the dunk contest. You know, it's a bunch of unknown niggas like Kenyon Martin Jr. off the Rockets, Trey Lyles, I don't even know the nigga name, off the Pelicans. You know, just a bunch of like, not no names, because let's not be disrespectful to players, but no names, let's be honest. You know what I mean? McClung is literally he on a 2-week contract. He just got signed in NBA. He just started like 3 days ago, and he's already putting up numbers like this, you know? So shout out to him, but it really goes to show like how the dunk contest has just declined from the spectacle that it once was, you know? Dunk contest, you see great names like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dominique Wilkins used to compete. Nowadays, you know, you want to see the John Morants, the Giannis Antetokounmpos, you want to see LeBron. LeBron hasn't even done a dunk contest, man. That just lets you know, like, things have really declined from the 90s, man. And, you know, it just, man, it's really upsetting to see how the dunk contest has kind of become so mid, where one of the biggest talking points this year was one of the biggest talking points that I don't feel like was talked about enough. We really gonna gloss over this. One of the judges selected for the dunk contest was Utah Jazz franchise legend Karl Malone. Now, if you don't know who Karl Malone is the first black athlete with white privilege, because I don't think anyone other than a white man could successfully get away with impregnating a 13-year-old while he's in college and then proceed to have a successful career as a professional athlete where he's loved and applauded as one of their franchise's best players. Yes, I'm talking about Karl Malone. You didn't know that fun fact about Karl Malone? Well, guess what? It's not so much of a fun fact as much it is the ugly truth. So why can't the NBA accept that? Like, I don't understand why the NBA goes so hard to, you know, put themselves on the forefront of being like social justice, and, you know, we don't just let our players play basketball, we let them have a voice. But, you know, then you co-sign shit like this. Like, nobody's asking for Karl Malone to be a judge. You know what I'm saying? And if you are asking for Karl Malone to be a judge, then we need to look at them like, why? Why do you want Karl Malone to be a judge so bad? Like, I get that this was hosted in Utah, but the whole point of Utah hosting was Utah saying that this was their year to rebrand how the league views them. How does the league view you, Utah? Racist with a baby boomer mentality on social issues. Like, Utah is a Karen state. It's Karen capital. All right. If you listen to this and you from the state of Utah, I apologize. Not because I feel like my words are offensive, but because you're from the state of Utah. I hope not born and raised. I hope one or the other. If it was born and raised, I apologize. I don't know what your highlights are in Utah. I don't know what Utah culture is. I just know that seems to be a lot of racism going on over there because NBA players hate it. Is Utah more racist than Boston? Leave a comment below, because I feel like Boston used to be that place, but Utah is like, feels like a sleeper hit. You know what I mean? The Utah Jazz. Ain't nobody listening to jazz music in fucking Utah. Like, just like nobody was petitioning for Karl Malone to be the judge of the slam dunk contest. Like, I get it. He's y'all franchise's best player, but can y'all move on? Like, why do y'all holding on to Karl Malone so much? He didn't get y'all a ring. He wasn't a fun basketball player to watch. He was a dirty basketball player. Like, he lost. He was a loser. He was a big, strong loser, man. And then I feel like it's so easy to just throw this shit out there and say, you know, like, oh, cancel Karl Malone. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for some public accountability. This is what happened with Karl Malone. While he was in college, Karl Malone impregnated a 13-year-old girl. And the family of the girl, they only agreed to not take Karl Malone to court, because you gotta understand, this is a black family in the 90s against a black professional athlete in the 90s. The deal was Karl Malone is a father to the child, right? That's all you gotta be. That's all you gotta be. It's your baby, just be a father. Nigga got to the league and said, fuck that. So they had to take him to court, and they had better lawyers. Karl Malone had better lawyers. So what ended up happening was he was giving them really pennies compared to his NBA salary. And I know that's like a big issue right now with, like, you know, a well-off man and a baby mother who's not working but getting a large lump payment from child supports. I do feel like the system is a bit skewed sometimes, but I feel like it's also really petty to, you know, feel like your child should have experienced a super difference in lifestyles between one household and another. If it's anything that you and your partner can do to come to, you know, a healthy negotiating sounds. I hate how negotiating sounds, but that's really how it is sometimes. Like, love is war. You know what I mean? So if you are in a situation where you're co-parenting and you're not together with the mother, father of your child, I just feel like both of y'all should strive to be giving the best for the child and not trying to one up the other parent and one up other households. You know what I mean? So if you're a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, why would you want your son to grow up in project conditions? That doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but apparently it makes sense to the higher ups in the NBA who greenlit this decision, because that's wild as hell to me. Now, shout out to that young man who Karl Malone fathered. Well, that Karl Malone provided the genetic template for, because he went on to be a young man known as Demetrius Bell in the NFL, you know, so shout out to our brother for persisting through adversity. But, you know, I wanted to just like talk about that in light of the dunk contest and how boring it was, because it feels like, you know, it's always been like a narrative about big sporting events being introduced to, you know, silence the people and, you know, keep people distracted and not talking about other things. And I agree, but it feels like it's starting to get to a boiling point, like starting to run out of the ability to distract us. You know what I mean? For example, shout out to Bomani Jones for pressing the issue. But I saw a clip that he put out where he was talking about the Karl Malone thing, and I'm really glad that somebody in the media, you know, was brave enough to actually talk about it, which is why I'm also talking about it too on, you know, my YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, like, it's... Look. Why is nobody talking about this shit with Karl Malone? Like, Monty Jones, what he said was, one thing that really stood out to me about his comments was that this is going to be something where people are talking about it for like a day or two. People are going to be really uncomfortable sitting next to him. And then we're going to go about our business like never ever happened. You know, And I feel like that's kind of scary. Because we live in a cancel culture. You know, Chris Brown put something up on his social media a couple days ago, criticizing the media about how his name is still run through the mud over his actions and people holding him accountable for that. But other people in the media nowadays are just as bad, if not worse, as him. And they don't get nearly the same scrutiny. Case in point, Karl Malone. I just did an episode on Blueface and Krishan Rock. You know what I mean? That's an abusive relationship. And I'm not over here advocating for Chris Brown, because I do feel like Chris Brown has had a pattern of being unaccountable for his ways and his dealings with women. You know what I'm saying? I'm big on accountability. I hold my brothers and my sisters accountable. You feel me? But I just feel like y'all aren't doing a good job at distracting us anymore. You feel me? Like, it's 2023. So much of this stuff is on the internet. You got people like me. You got people like Babani Jones. You got people who are going to call this stuff out. And I feel like there needs to be some unrest about it, because there are bigger things to talk about than the All-Star Weekend. If we can talk about how messed up it is that Karl Malone was one of the head judges, and also how messed up it was that a white man just won the slam dunk contest while Giannis Antetokounmpo was standing courtside. Giannis, if you don't get your big ass on the court and hoop, it's Sunday right now. Watch, that man's about to go out there, drop like 35 in the All-Star game. Some shit that don't matter. Nigga, if you don't just get out there and dunk, come on, bro. Come on, G. Ja, you too gangster to be in a slam dunk contest? You too gangster for that, nigga? Come on, man. Do the dunk contest with the gun on your hip, man. That'd be raw as hell. A nigga hitting a windmill dunk with a switch on his hip, bro. He damn near be the GOAT. He'd damn near be the GOAT, and niggas couldn't debate his gangster no more. But that's not what we debating. We're accepting the fact that a white man won. Shout out to McClung. He did his thing. We're accepting the fact that a literal pedophile and rapist, because it's statutory rape, pedophile and rapist is a judge for this dunk contest. All the while, it's some more major stuff in the country going on. Like, society, it feels like society is on the verge of collapse, and they just trying to stuff the Super Bowl and our All-Star Weekend in our face. Y'all was up here complaining about the price of eggs 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and everybody want to talk about Rihanna at the Super Bowl being pregnant. That hurt my heart too. I have a video coming on that later. I do plan on talking about that. But if I don't take a man to talk about the real shit too, and you know, jokes are cool, but it's not a joke if we don't stop laughing at some point and get serious, folks. You know what I mean? If I don't take the time to stop and have that commentary, then who does? So, hey man, in conclusion, for this video, pay attention. Read between the lines. You know, enjoy your Black History Month. Stand in pride. I'm glad I got a video out for this February, but pay attention, man. Like, it's a lot going on right now. It's a lot going on in the world. It's a lot going on in American society. It's a lot going on in your neighborhood, man. People be going through it. It's a lot going on in your family. Probably got family members who might be going through it, man. And is the dunk contest really worth it? Is the dunk contest really more? Does that really mean more than just calling a loved one? Just letting them know, hey, I'm thinking about you. Look out for your people, man. And fuck Karl Malone. Fuck Karl Malone. Stop bringing Karl Malone out to public events. I don't want to see Karl Malone associated with anything NBA after this. Leave that nigga in the fucking dust. Take that nigga out of 2K. Replace his ass with Marl Cologne. Don't use that nigga real government name. Don't cut that nigga no royalty checks. I don't know who his lawyer is. I don't know what he has in his contract. I don't know if it's an NDA. I don't know if you niggas took a blood oath with Karl Malone. Stop bringing that nigga around if we can't talk about what the fuck that nigga did. And shout out to McClung for saving the dunk contest. I'll catch y'all on the next one, folks. Peace out.